Heavy rain day. This is an experience I had in Nagoya, Japan, where I lived when I was in the early grades of elementary school. It was a still hot and rainy day in September. Two of my friends from the same grade who lived in the neighborhood and I were going home from school that day. I remember the sky was a sticky gray and very dark. Whenever there was heavy rain and strong winds, such as from a typhoon, our hearts would thrill with a sense of the extraordinary, so we cackled and joked around as we left the school. Although I lived in an urban area, there were many hills, and our route home was up several hills from where the elementary school was located toward our house. A downpour of rain on the hill. I remember how interesting it was for us elementary school children to see water flowing at a tremendous rate in the gutters and drains that passed along the side of the road. We would try to poke tree branches through the metal mesh covers of the gutters and play with the fallen leaves. As we were happily returning home in this fashion, I discovered an area where the gutter lid had come off. Inside the ditch was more water than I had expected. Wow, that's amazing. I threw a stone into the ditch, and it was quickly swept away. We played there for a while. Then someone said, "Let's put an umbrella in there." We were beginning to get tired of throwing stones and leaves into the stream, so we immediately took him up on his suggestion. One of my friends who was wearing a big raincoat said, "I'll do it." And he closed his umbrella and plunged it into the ditch. The water was running so fast that the umbrella was about to be swept away. The water also got inside the folded umbrella, and my friend, who could not let go of the umbrella, almost fell down toward the ditch. Then, from behind us, "Hey! Hey you guys!" I hear an adult yell. I turned around to see the vice principal running toward us. The umbrella was instantly swept away, and from the ditch came the sound of the umbrella bone breaking, crack, crack, crack. The vice principal who rushed to the scene had a very scared look on his face and said, "It's dangerous, hurry up and go home. You shouldn't play here." The vice principal, with whom we did not usually have much contact, scolded us, and we immediately left. When I returned home and excitedly told my mother about what had happened, her expression suddenly turned grim and she asked me, "Where did you do that?" When I answered, "At the bottom of the hill," when the ditch lid was open, Mom's expression turned very sour and she said, "Oh my God, at that place?" and began to tell her story. About 8 years ago, on the same day of heavy rain, an elementary school boy was returning home alone and went missing, leaving only his school bag on the side of the ditch. The school was notified, and teachers and guardians searched for him, but could not find him. A few hours later, the boy was found in a ditch several hundred meters away from where his school bag had been. The boy's body had been swept away by the tremendous force of the water in the ditch, and he was found in a state of disarray, with every bone in his body broken. It was the vice principal who had yelled at us who found the body stiffened in a snarled shape. It was a famous accident among those who lived in the area at the time, and everyone remembers it well. Since the accident, the vice principal has started patrolling the students' route out of school on rainy days. Later, my mom received a phone call from the vice principal, who was concerned that no one had been injured. The vice principal told the mother that the place where we had gathered to play was the very site of the accident. The teacher said that the gutters along the path to school should have had lids put on them after the accident, but she really wondered why the lids were open on that day and in that spot only. If the vice principal had not come to the spot and loudly warned me, I feel that my friend would have been dragged into the ditch like that boy. Later, talking with my friends who had gone home with me, we said, "It's a good thing the vice principal came, isn't it?" But then we asked ourselves, who said, "Let's put the umbrellas in question mark." When we started talking about it, we realized that none of the three of us had made such a suggestion. Who was that? Whenever it rains heavily, I still remember the scenery on that rainy day, the loud voice and impatient expression of the vice principal, and someone's voice saying, "Let's put the umbrellas in."
Hello everyone, this is Sadako. This was a short talk, but how was it? Japan is an island country with many oceans and rivers, and there are many disasters such as typhoons, landslides, and so on, so people are well educated from childhood. Also, we often hear stories about people who lost someone in an accident and took someone with them because they were lonely. In this story, too, I suspect that the person who suggested to the children to put umbrellas in the gutter was a child who died in a previous accident. Who do you think approached them? I hope you all take precautions against accidents when you live or travel to Japan. I will upload videos as frequently as possible, so please subscribe to my channel. See you soon.